Go to mute.
All right, go ahead and get yourself muted. Get yourself settled in. Adjust the screen. Okay. There we go. All right, so good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is. Welcome Thursday yoga. We're gonna start lying down, as always, in that space that feels really comfortable for you. So taking your time as you start to transition into that position that you want to start your class in. So really intentional with the position of your body, thinking about where you're placing your arms, thinking about where you're placing your legs, maybe changing, maybe trying out different things, bending the knees, straightening the knees. Sometimes people like to bring the soles of the feet together, almost like you're in a little reclined butterfly. Some people like their hand on their chest and their stomach or at the sides of their body. So go ahead and play around with all of those options until you find what feels really comfortable for you. And then once you do, take a deep breath in through the nose, filling up the lungs, the chest, the stomach, and exhaling as you let it go. And you can take 1 or 2 more breaths just like this, using this time, this space, to prepare yourself for the practice that you're about to offer, because that is the difference between yoga and Pilates. We were just talking about that. We work our bodies in yoga. We get a workout and exercise and a stretch, but we also want to focus on our mental health, our minds, and our yoga practice as well. So that's an important part of this time here at the beginning of class, to sort of let go of anything that you might be holding on to. Some things we don't even realize we're thinking about, we're dwelling on, consciously putting them down, letting them go. And just allowing yourself to feel a little lighter for the next hour, to just kind of enjoy the stretching, the moving, the breathing, kind of put everything else on hold. So before we start to move a little bit, go ahead and think about that intention for your practice, whatever it is that you are going to create here on your mat. Maybe that's love, peace, patience. Maybe it's something that you're sending to someone else, healing, forgiveness. It can also be something you're working on letting go of. So it doesn't have to be something you want. It can be something you want to release. Sometimes I like to think of a phrase as I practice: inhaling peace, exhaling stress, or something like that. And I'll think about that throughout my practice to just sort of visualize that letting go. So let yourself take a moment now to think about that intention. And then once you've come up with one, we're going to slowly start to find a full body stretch. So if your knees are bent, you can start to straighten them. You can start to reach your arms over your head, start to roll out the ankles, the wrists, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Just get a nice big full body stretch. And then on the next inhale, we're going to draw the right knee in towards the body. You're wrapping your arms around your shins. Give that knee a little hug as you almost think about trying to draw the right knee towards your shoulder. It's most likely not going to touch the shoulder. Mine doesn't, but that's the idea. You're kind of drawing it in, hugging it in. It's creating a little massage for actually your internal organs on the right side of the body. And then you can go ahead and start to circle that right leg a little bit, or maybe just rock the knee from side to side, whichever feels most comfortable for you. And then we'll start to find a twist by taking that right knee over to the left side of the body, releasing it towards the ground. Again, it doesn't have to touch, it's just moving in that. Did I see the right side? We're coming to the left side. I'm tripping up on my words already. So the right leg is twisting to the left. You can either be looking up towards the ceiling, or maybe you're looking in the opposite direction of your knee. So in this shape, think about the spine getting a nice twist. Pressing that right shoulder back down towards the mat. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, soften through the back of the body. And then slowly starting to bring that right knee back through center. We're gonna bend the left knee, place the left foot on the mat, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. As you bring your hands behind the right leg, start to massage it, start to draw it towards you. You can wiggle the toes, roll the ankle, bend the knee, whatever feels good. These 10 or 15 minutes or so at the beginning of class where we spend some time just warming up and grounding down, it's really for you to do what feels good for you. So if you're ever doing something and you're noticing it doesn't feel good or something feels better, you can do that because you want to warm up your body in a way that feels good for you. And then slowly placing that right foot on the left knee. We're going to take our hands, press the right shin away from you a little bit, so you're kind of creating a little opening in that right hip. And then you can bring your arms to a cactus or extend them out to either side of the body, and then just start to let the hips rock from side to side. And then as you come back through center, let's find our reclined pigeon by lifting the left leg up off the mat. Interlace the hands behind the left thigh. Draw the left leg towards you. Both feet are flexed here, so you're really engaging both feet, drawing that left knee towards you, pressing the spine down into the mat. And then gently taking that right leg, placing it back down onto the mat. So slowly lowering the right leg down, continuing to hug the left knee in. So we'll start to take that same sequence on the left side, beginning by drawing the left knee towards the left shoulder, giving it a nice hug, and then inviting a little movement into that left leg if it feels good. So a side to side movement with the knee or a circular movement with the knee. And then beginning to find a twist. The left leg is coming over to the right side of the body now. The left shoulder is pressing down towards the mat. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, think about the back of the body relaxing. So as you exhale, maybe that left shoulder releases down a little further. The knee releases down a little further. Sometimes it's not a matter of our muscles. It's not a matter of being too tight. It's a matter of we're holding on to things, we're tensing things. So when you work on breathing through a pose or relaxing, all of a sudden you find that you're able to open up a little more than you thought you were. Start to draw that left leg back through center, bend the right knee, place the right foot on the mat as the left leg extends up towards the ceiling. Hands come behind the left leg as you start to draw it towards you, bending that knee and straightening it, rolling out the ankle, massaging the back of the leg. And then the left foot is going to come to the right knee. We're going to take our hands, just gently press the left shin away, creating that little opening in the left hip. And then again, arms come to the sides of the body. I like to bend my elbows, making little cactus arms or goalpost arms, but they can also be straight if that feels more comfortable. And then just start to rock your hips from side to side. And then as you come back through center, that right leg will lift, the hands come behind the right thigh, flexing through both feet again as you start to draw the right leg towards you. You can even take a hand and just gently press the left knee away from you if that feels good, creating that opening in the left hip. And then we'll release the left knee, draw both knees in towards you, and we'll start to rock it all the way up to a seated position. So taking a couple rocks if you like, or just one if that feels more comfortable for you. Sitting up nice and tall, hands can come to your knees. I always sort of rock side to side a little bit as I settle in, and then once you find a comfortable seat, take a nice deep breath in, fill the stomach, slowly letting it go. And then let's start to circle the upper body, bringing that chest forward and around, using that connection with the hands on the knees to sort of guide you through the movement. If it feels good to make circles, you can. Sometimes I like to just sort of go side to side, or you can even twist by pressing the hands into the knees and sort of looking over one shoulder. Looking over the other shoulder. Or just keep going with that circular motion. If you were going in circles, make sure you go in both directions. And then slowly making your way back through center. Take a breath in. Let's roll the shoulders up towards the ears, creating a little tension and a little tightness when you do this. And then as you exhale, you release the shoulders down the back. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, drawing the shoulders up. Exhale as you let them go. Imagine that tension kind of dissolving and releasing. 1 more time. Inhaling, lifting the arms up. Exhale, let them release. Then we're going to take the left ear and just start to release it towards the left shoulder. You can take your left hand and place it on top of your head. So you're starting to draw the left ear towards the left shoulder, creating a nice opening in the right side of the neck. Your right fingertips can come to the mat and sort of walk away from you. So you'll see the further you walk the fingertips away from you, the more you're going to start to feel it in that little crease between the shoulder and the neck. And again, using your breath here. See if you can exhale, relaxing the shoulders a little more. And then gently releasing the hand, the chin can roll forward and then all the way over to the right side. So now the right ear is starting to come towards the shoulder. Right hand can come to the top of the head as you gently guide it, not forcing or tugging, but just using the weight of the hand to kind of create a little more pressure. Those left fingertips can start to walk away from the body. Really focus on bringing the ear to the shoulder rather than lifting that shoulder up. So the shoulders are continuing to relax and then the head slowly relaxes down. And then releasing the right hand, you can go ahead and take a couple full circles with the neck. So rolling the neck all the way around if that feels good, or maybe side to side is a little better. Whatever feels comfortable. Just take about 2 or 3 circles with the neck. And then slowly starting to come back through center, sit up nice and tall. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, the left fingertips come to the mat. Take a nice big side stretch to the left side. So right hip is pressing down, lengthening through the right side of the body. Roll that right shoulder open. So you're kind of dialing the right shoulder back a little bit, looking up towards the sky or the ceiling. And then on the next inhale, take it back up through center, get really long, creating that length. And the exhale takes us over to the other side. Your right hand comes to the mat, lengthen through the left side of the body. Press the hip down, roll the left shoulder open as you look up towards the ceiling. And then on the next inhale, take it all the way back up through center. This time as you exhale, start to fold it forward, walking the hands away from you as you start to release down towards the mat. And this is a great stretch to really focus on that breath here. Each time you inhale, get a little longer through the back of the body, maybe even sitting up a little bit on the inhale. And then each time you exhale, folding a little bit further forward. Maybe do that 2 or 3 more times. Inhale, lengthening, creating space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale as you fold. And then slowly starting to walk the hands back towards the body as you begin to press yourself back up. Bring the soles of the feet together, finding your butterfly or cobbler's pose. Interlace your hands under your toes as you take a breath in, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, start to fold forward, pressing the elbows into the shins, drawing the chest towards you. So using the elbow shin connection to kind of press the legs down a little bit, creating a nice little stretch on the inner thighs and the outer thighs. Really both are kind of engaged here. And then on the next inhale, slowly starting to lift it all the way back up through center. Let's extend the right leg long, draw the left foot into the right inner thigh, flex through the right toes, turn so the body is facing the right leg, and on an inhale, the arms lift up. On an exhale, fold it forward over that right leg. Giving that leg whatever kind of love it needs, bending the knee, massaging the back of the leg. And we're going to start to turn this into a little bit of a moving meditation. So on the next inhale, The left arm is gonna come behind the body. You're gonna press the hips up and reach the right arm behind you. So you're kind of getting a long line on the right side of the body. This is your inhale. As you exhale, you're gonna come back down to that forward fold. We're gonna do that 2 or 3 more times with your breath. So I'll speak it out loud, but go ahead and move with your breath. So on the inhale, that left arm cartwheels back, press the hips up and lengthen. As you exhale, lower yourself back down and fold. Think about it almost like a dance, but as fluid as you can make it. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Go ahead and do that 1 more time and then ending back in that forward fold. And then on the next inhale, you can start to lift it all the way back up to a seated position. We're gonna take the left foot, bring it to the outside of the right knee, so we're crossing the left leg over the right. 2 options here. You can keep that right leg straight, or you can bend the right knee and kind of bring the foot towards the body. So whichever feels more comfortable, you choose. Left hand comes to the side of the body. As you inhale, the right arm lifts up. As you exhale, turn to the left, hook the right elbow on the left knee, and find a twist. Take a breath in as you sit up a little taller. Exhale as you twist a little further. And then slowly coming all the way through center over to the other side. Left elbow comes to the left knee as you kind of twist and unravel what we just did. And then again, as you come back through center, extend both legs long, kind of tap the backs of the legs on your mat, and we'll draw that right foot into the left inner thigh, flexing through the left toes, turn so that your hips are kind of squared off. And then as you inhale, the arms lift up. As you exhale, fold over that left leg. We'll take a couple of breaths here before we start to move. So same thing as you did on the other side. You can kind of massage the back of the leg. You can kind of bend the knee a little bit. And then we'll start to find that movement. On the next inhale, the right arm swings behind you as you press the hips up, lengthen through the left side of the body. As you exhale, fold back over that left leg. 3 more times just like that. Inhale, lift it up, lengthen. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, lifts and lengthens. Exhale, folds. I think we have 1 more to make it even, so go ahead and take that last one. Get really long, really lift it up, and then lower it back down. And then on the next inhale, you can come back through a seated position. We'll take the right foot to the outside of the left leg. Same options, that left leg can stay straight, or you can bend the left knee. The right arm is going to come to the side of the body, and as you inhale, the left arm lifts up. Turn to the right, and then go ahead and hook the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. And then we'll start to take it over to the other side, so twisting in the opposite direction, unraveling that twist a little bit. And then on the next inhale, come back through center. Extend both legs long again, shake them out a little bit. And let's come to a wide-legged seated position. So go ahead and bring the feet apart. You can kind of rock it out from side to side a little bit. Flex through the feet as you sit up nice and tall. Take a breath in. As you exhale, fold it forward. Being gentle with yourself here. This is a deep stretch. So breathing into it. We're going to hold this for about 3 or 4 breaths. And then on the next inhale, slowly starting to walk the hands back towards you. You can take your hands and just gently press the legs towards each other, and then find your way into your first tabletop position, coming onto your hands and your knees. Nice flat back to start before transitioning into your cat and cow. So for your first inhale, the stomach is going to release down, the gaze goes up. As you exhale, the back rounds, press the ground away from you. And go ahead and continue to move just like that. Adding on anything that feels good. I always like to suggest rocking your hips from side to side, maybe pressing one down towards the mat, the other. You can rock your head from side to side. You can even find a little child's pose or a little back bend. Just start to allow the spine to move with the breath. That's the key. And then finishing the round that you're on before making your way back to that neutral spine, that flat back. And we're gonna extend the right leg long, lengthen the right leg, keep the toes tucked. So we get our little toe stretch. So pressing the right toes down into the mat, press the heel behind you, and then use your toes to kind of press yourself forward. So go ahead and press yourself forwards and backwards just a couple times. And then coming back through center, the right leg is gonna lift, point the toes towards the back of the room. Take a breath in as you draw the right knee towards your nose, around your back. Exhale, extend it long. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, draw the right knee to the nose. Exhale, extend it back. 1 more time, knee to nose. As you exhale, extend it back. Pause here. We're gonna find a modified side plank. So kind of similar to that little moving meditation we were doing before. Same shape. The left foot is going to kind of slide off your mat. The right foot grounds down. The right hand extends towards the top of the mat. So we're getting really long on the right side of the body. Pressing the right hips up, or both hips up really. Option to find a little bit of a balance by lifting that right leg up off the mat. So see how it goes. See if that balance feels accessible. Maybe you just play around with lifting the toe up an inch or 2. Maybe you're lifting it up a little higher. And then we'll slowly start to close it off. Right hand comes to the mat, right knee comes to the mat. You can shake your hips out from side to side a little bit. And then we'll take it over to the other side. The left toes are gonna tuck, so the left leg gets long as you start to press yourself forwards and backwards, keeping those toes on the mat. And then as you come back through stillness, take a breath in, draw the left knee towards the nose. Exhale, extend it behind you. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, extend it back. 1 more time. Inhale, round the back. Exhale, lengthen. And then we'll find that modified side plank. So the right toes slide off the mat. That left foot comes to the back right corner. The left arm lifts up and lengthens. So 1 long line on the left side of the body. You can start with that left foot down, pressing the hips up a little higher. Roll that left shoulder open. And then if you want to take the balance, you can slowly start to lift that left leg up off the mat, working on creating 1 straight parallel line to the ground with the body. But that's just the visual. If that foot is not quite parallel to the ground, that is okay. And then slowly bringing the hand and the knee back to the mat. You can kind of shake it out 1 more time. And then we'll find our first downward facing dog. So your toes should tuck, your legs should straighten, those hips send up and back. And then as always, you can move around here a little bit. This is the first down dog of our class, possibly the first one of the day for you. So you're just gonna settle in, you're gonna move a little bit. You're gonna lift up the heels and then press them back down. You can bend your knees and then straighten them out. Rock your hips out. Shake your head yes or no. And then let's all roll it forward into a plank position. Tucking that tailbone, checking your alignment here. I always like to do this just to see how far apart my hands and my feet are. You want to be able to flow between the 2. As you exhale, send it back to your downward facing dog. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, roll it forward to your plank. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. And 1 more time. Inhale, roll it forward. Plank position, tuck that tailbone, nice long spine. Exhale, send it back. Good. As you take your gaze towards your hands, you're gonna walk the feet up to the top of the mat, coming to a forward fold. Your feet can be about hips width distance apart. Take any forward fold that feels good for you, holding onto opposite elbows, holding onto the back of your head or even the backs of your legs, and just let that upper body become heavy, let gravity do the work here. So you're not forcing anything, you're just not resisting, if that makes sense. You're letting the upper body release down, maybe putting a little bend in the knees if that helps you kind of relax a little more, get a little lower. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, we'll start to lift it all the way up. So beginning to peel the body up, reaching the arms overhead. Find a little back bend once you get there. And then your hands are gonna come to heart center. You can go ahead and step your feet together so they're not hips width anymore. The toes are coming right together. Take a breath in, reach the arms back up overhead. We're gonna interlace our fingers. Keep your pointer finger pointing back up towards the sky. So kind of like you're pointing up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in as you lengthen. As you exhale, take it over to the left side. We're gonna get a nice long side stretch on the right side of the body. So the hips are pressing to the right. Look under that right arm. Try to roll that right shoulder open a little bit so you're not leaning forward. Think about staying in one straight line and just bending to the left. And then on the next inhale, lift it back up through center. The shoulders relax and over to the other side. Rolling that left shoulder open, looking under that arm. And inhale, lift it back up through center. Exhale, you can bring your hands to heart center. Let's move through a couple nice and slow sun salutations. So this is probably what you guys were doing the other week when it got a little hot and warm, but we're gonna take them nice and slow. So on the next inhale, we're gonna lift our arms up. As you exhale, dive it down, forward fold. As you inhale, we're gonna find a halfway lift. So your hands are coming to your shins, nice flat back, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, the hands come back to the mat and we're gonna step it back to a downward facing dog. So go ahead and walk the feet to the back of the mat. On your next inhale, let's roll it forward into a plank position, tucking that tailbone under. And we're gonna come down onto our knees. Lower yourself all the way down onto your stomach. And then on the next inhale, let's take a low cobra. So that's where we're just lifting the upper body just a little bit so that the fingertips can lift up off the mat. Press the shoulder blades together. And not really craning the neck. So we don't need to be looking up towards the ceiling. Kind of just keep the gaze maybe like a few inches off the top of your mat. Good. From here, let's press it back to a child's pose. Press your hands into the mat. Hips come to heels, toes together, knees apart. Go ahead and take 2 or 3 breaths in your child's pose. You can either keep your hands towards the top of your mat. You can stack your hands on top of each other, rest your forehead on your hands. Or you can bring the fingertips next to the toes. This takes some of the pressure off your shoulders. So see what feels most comfortable for you. About 3 more breaths here. Coming back to that intention that you set. Coming back to your breath. Or maybe just coming back to the present moment if you started to go somewhere else. And then we're all gonna start to transition back to that downward facing dog. So if your feet or your hands aren't already at the top of your mat, go ahead and walk them to the top of the mat. Begin to find your downward facing dog by tucking the toes, straightening the legs. Take your gaze towards your hands. And we're gonna step it back to the top of the mat. So go ahead and walk your feet to your hands, finding that halfway lift again. Hands come to shins as you inhale. As you exhale, fold. And then on the next inhale, let's lift it all the way up, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. We're gonna do that 2 more times, just a little bit faster. So on the next inhale, lift it up. As you exhale, dive it down, big swan dive, forward fold. As you inhale, we're gonna kind of prepare so you can bring your hands to the mat. As you exhale, step it back to your downward facing dog. On the next inhale, roll it out to your plank position. Knees come down. Exhale as you lower yourself all the way down to the mat. This time your choice. You can lift up into that low cobra again, or if you want to press your hands into the mat, press it up a little higher. Being gentle with the spine though. This time as we exhale, we're gonna skip the child's pose and go right back to our downward facing dog. So the toes tuck, straighten the legs, back to that downward facing dog. Take your gaze towards your hands, step it to the top of the mat. Hands come to shins for a little halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, lift it all the way back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. One more just like that. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale to prepare, so hands come to the mat. Exhale, step it back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, roll it forward into your plank position. Exhale, lower down onto your knees. Lower all the way down onto the mat. As you inhale, find your cobra. So either low cobra or a higher cobra. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Good. Take your gaze towards your hands. Step the feet back up to the top of the mat for a little forward fold. Halfway lift as you inhale, flat back. As you exhale, fold even deeper. And then as you inhale, lift it all the way back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So coming to the top of your mat, if you're not there already, we're gonna step the left foot all the way to the back, setting up for our first warrior one. So your hips are facing the top of your mat. The back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, we're bending into that right knee. So you might need to step the left foot back a little bit further just to kind of create that space because we don't want the right knee going over that right foot. Good. Relax the shoulders, take the gaze up towards the sky. Good. 2 more breaths just like this. And then from here, we're gonna have a little trickier transition. We're gonna slowly bring the hands to frame out the front foot. So you're gonna lower so that those hands are framing out that right foot. You're gonna spin to the ball of the back foot. So you're lifting up that back heel. That left hand is gonna stay down. As you exhale, the right arm is gonna lift up, finding a twist. So looking towards that right hand. And then slowly bringing the right hand back down onto the mat. That left knee is going to come down. Untuck the left toes. As you exhale, press the hips back, straighten that right leg, and you're folding over the right leg. And let's start to move here a little bit, warming up for our crescent lunge. So as you inhale, the hips press down towards the mat, the upper body lifts up. As you exhale, press the hips back, fold over that right leg. About 2 more times, just like this. And then the next time you come forward, we'll come into Anjaneyasana or the crescent lunge by pressing the hips down. Hands are gonna either come to that front knee or they're gonna reach up towards the ceiling, relaxing the shoulders, taking your gaze up towards your hands. And then slowly bringing your hands back to frame out that front foot. Tuck the left toes, straighten that left leg so we're back in a runner's lunge. And we're gonna step it back up to a forward fold. So the left foot is gonna step back up to meet the right. You can go ahead and take that little halfway lift, bringing your hands to your shins as you inhale. As you exhale, fold. And then on the next inhale, lift it all the way back up. And hands come to heart center. Good. This time we'll take that warrior one on the opposite side. So the right foot is gonna step all the way to the back of your mat. 45-degree angle with that right foot. Hips are facing the top of your mat. So that left hip probably wants to be in front of the right. Do a little shift so that the hips are squared off. Take a breath in as you lift your arms up. As you exhale, bend into that left knee. Think about pressing down to the outer edge of that right foot, that back foot. 2 more breaths just like this. See if you can bend into that knee a little bit more. And then again, we're gonna take that little transition down onto the mat. So you're gonna start to bring your hands to frame out that left foot this time. Place your hands on either side of the foot. Spin so that you're on the ball of the right foot, that right heel lifts. Right hand is gonna stay down. And then as you exhale, the left arm lifts up. Look up towards that left hand. And then slowly bringing the left hand back down to the mat. That right knee is going to come down, untuck the toes. As you exhale, press the hips back, folding over that left leg. And we're gonna start to move here through that little flow we took on the other side. So as you inhale, press the hips down, start to lift up through the upper body. As you exhale, send the hips back and fold over that left leg. 2 or 3 more times, just like that, warming up those hips. And then the next time you come forward, we'll start to make our way into our Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. So lifting up through the upper body, pressing those hips down. So really think about pressing that right thigh towards the mat. And then you can bring your hands all the way up towards the ceiling if that feels comfortable. Taking the gaze towards the fingers, lifting and lengthening up out of the hips. So we're opening up through the front of the body and the back of the body, the upper body. And slowly bringing your hands to frame out that left foot. We're gonna tuck the right toes, straighten that back leg back to your runner's lunge, and then we'll step it back up to a forward fold. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Hands come to the shins as you flatten the back on an inhale. Exhale, fold. And on the next inhale, lift it all the way back up, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. From here, let's step the left foot to the back of the mat. This time we're coming into a high lunge. So the difference is you're staying on the ball of that left foot versus before we had that back foot grounded. So take a breath in as you lift your arms up. As you exhale, we're bending into that front knee. We're going to turn this into a little bit of a movement. So the inhale, we're going to kind of lift and lengthen through the upper body. As you exhale, you're going to start to lean forward and sweep the arms behind you. So the top of the head is pressing forward, the fingertips are reaching back. Your legs are going to try to stay as still as possible as we do this. So let's do that about 2 or 3 more times. Inhale, lift and lengthen the upper body. Exhale, those arms sweep back, head presses forward. Go ahead and do that with your breath. So I'm going to keep going, but you can move at a speed that feels comfortable for you. Trying to follow your breath. Inhale lifts you up. Exhale sweeps the arms back. One more time. Inhale lifts it up. Exhale, sweep it back. Go ahead and finish in your high lunge so those arms reach back up overhead. And then we're going to bring our arms to heart center. Hands come to heart center, pressing into each other. Then we're going to twist to the right. So see if you can keep your hips facing forward. And the upper body is just going to twist to the right a little bit. The right fingertips are going to reach behind you. The left fingertips are going to reach in front of you. So you're looking at the right side of your mat. You're kind of opening up to that right side, getting a little twist. See if your arms can stay parallel to the ground. Good. And then slowly bring your hands back to heart center. Come back through center, unraveling that little twist. You can straighten the front leg. Step that left foot back up to meet the right. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So the right foot is going to step to the back of the mat, setting up for that high lunge. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. As you exhale, bend into that left knee, coming into that high lunge. And we'll start to take that little moving meditation. So the inhale lifts and lengthens the upper body. The exhale sweeps the arms back. Go ahead and do that 2 or 3 more times with your breath. Inhale, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, press the hands back, top of the head forward. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, send it back. One more time, and then ending in that high lunge again. So once your arms are up overhead, you can bring them back to heart center. This time we're going to twist to the left. So lower body stays exactly where it is. Upper body is just going to start to twist to the left. The left fingertips are going to reach towards the back of your mat. The right fingertips are reaching towards the front of the mat. Maybe you work on taking your gaze towards that left hand, lifting up through that left arm a little bit more. Good. This is a challenge because we're balancing, we're twisting, we're strengthening, we're doing it all. Go ahead and bring your hands back to heart center, unravel that twist, straighten the front leg as you step the right foot up to meet the left. Shake it out, let it go. Nice. Let's come into a tree pose for our balance. So we're gonna find a nice firm foundation with the left foot. The right foot is gonna come to the inner ankle. So you can keep those right toes tucked or pressing into the mat. Hands come to heart center. If you want to add on, you're gonna start lifting that right foot up, either to your inner shin or to your inner thigh. You can have a wall to your left. You can either be holding it or just have it there so that you know it's there if you need it. That peace of mind can be super helpful. And then find any variation you like with your hands. If you like to lift them up overhead open or bring that prayer overhead. And you just extend your arms to either side to kind of balance you out. We're going to take about 3 more breaths here. So playing around with a shape that feels good for you. If you fall out of it, just come right back into it. And then we'll slowly bring that right foot back down to the mat. You can shake out your standing leg. You can take a little forward fold. Sometimes that feels good on the back of the body. And then we'll start to set up for the other side. So find a nice firm foundation with the right foot. What I mean by that is sometimes I'll like fan out my toes a little bit, get a nice grip of the mat. You don't want to be like clawing the mat with your feet. Like you want your foot to be relaxed, but you can kind of make a nice foundation with it. Left toes are going to come to that right inner ankle. Hands come to heart center. Kind of take a little scan. Notice where you are on this side. If you're feeling a little more balanced, a little less balanced, and then decide from here where you're going. You can either stay right here, or maybe that left foot starts to come up the leg a little bit. Maybe the arms start to lift. Finding a tree that feels fun to you. This is a fun one. Balances are always a little challenging, but they're also a little playful. So take about 3 more breaths to play. And remembering to breathe, because sometimes we'll hold our breath because it feels easier, but really that breath will help you. And then slowly starting to lower that left foot back down onto the mat. Shake it out. You can take that little forward fold if that felt good. Rock the hips out from side to side a little bit, and slowly lifting it all the way back up. Good. Coming back to the top of your mat, we're going to step the left foot back one more time, this time finding our warrior 2. So the left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Arms are going to lift up, right fingertips to the top of your mat, left fingertips to the back. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend into that right knee. So our hips are opening up to the left side of our mat. Our arms are parallel to the ground. That right knee is bending, maybe even a little further as you settle in here. And then let's find our peaceful warrior. The left hand is going to come to the back leg. The right palm is going to flip. So the right palm is facing up. Reach your right fingertips forward, and then lifting that arm up and over your head, you're going to lean it back. Continuing to bend into that right knee as you lengthen through the right side of the body. And then on the next inhale, slowly lifting it all the way back up. Straighten the right knee. Turn the right toes to face the side of your mat. Take a breath in as you lift up. And as you exhale, fold to the left side. So we're doing a wide-legged fold on the left side of our mat. As always, this is up to you to find a shape that feels good. So you can go ahead and bend your knees from side to side. You can rock your hips a little bit. You can walk your hands to one leg and then the other. Whatever feels good. Take about 2 more breaths in this wide-legged forward fold. And then we're going to slowly start to walk our hands to frame out the right foot. So we're coming to a low lunge at the top of the mat. So your Hands are coming to frame out the right foot. You're spinning to the ball of the left foot. Your right toes are facing the front of your mat. And then we're going to step it back up to a forward fold. So the left foot comes up to meet the right. Your hands come to your shins. As you inhale, find that flat back. As you exhale, fold. And then inhale, lifts it all the way up, a little back bend. Exhale, hands come to heart center. And we'll take that warrior two on the opposite side. So this time the right foot is going to step to the back of your mat, parallel to the back of the mat. Left toes face forward. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. And then as you exhale, left knee bends. Hips are opening up to the side of your mat. See if you can relax the shoulders a little more, lengthen the arms a little more. And then we'll find that peaceful warrior. Right hand comes to the back of the leg, left palm flips up. Reach the left fingertips forward and then reach that left arm up and over your head. Bending into the left knee and then lengthening through the left side of the body. Looking under that left arm towards the ceiling. And then slowly back to your warrior two. We'll straighten that left leg, turn the left toes to face the same direction as the right. One more time, wide-legged fold as you inhale, the arms lift up. As you exhale, fold it forward. Maybe you walk your hands really far out in front of you. Maybe you walk your hands really far behind you, drawing the top of the head towards the mat, whatever feels good. Take about 2 more breaths. And then slowly starting to walk your hands to frame out that left foot. Spinning to the top of your mat so the left toes face forward, run the ball of the right foot. And then that right foot steps up to meet the left, forward fold. Hands come to shins, halfway lift for space. Exhale as you fold. Inhale as you lift it all the way up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. So let's start to take it down a little bit. On the next inhale, you can reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, dive it down, forward fold. Hands come to the mat. Step it back to your downward facing dog. And then we'll lower it down onto our knees. And you can start to find a seated position from here. So just go ahead and extend the legs out long in front of you. Flexing through the feet. Kind of rock the hips out from side to side as you start to settle in, slow down, maybe grab a sip of water or a towel if you would like it. Take a breath in as you lift the arms up. And then we're just going to reach the arms right out in front of us, relax the shoulders, one vertebrae at a time. Start to peel the body all the way back down onto the mat. Coming back to a full body stretch, right where you started, the arms reach overhead. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, you can bring your hands to the sides of your body. Let it go. Let that breath out. Sigh it all out. And we're going to take one back bend. So bringing the feet to the base of the spine as you start to bend your knees. Hands are at the sides of the body. Take a breath in as you start to press the hips up towards the ceiling. So 2 options. You can either continue to press your hands into the mat, or you can start to roll your shoulders under you a little bit more and then interlace your hands under your tailbone. So whichever feels more comfortable, that is the option that you can choose. If you want a supported bridge and you have something at home like a block or a pillow or something that you can slide under your hips, that's an option as well. You're still getting that back bend. It's just a little less active because you're not holding yourself up. 2 great stretches for different purposes. So slowly we'll start to peel the spine back down onto the ground, 1 vertebrae at a time. Once your tailbone touches, you can let your hips rock from side to side, your knees rock from side to side. And then just start to draw your knees in towards you, giving yourself a little hug as you wrap your arms around your shins. You can lift your head up towards the mat, curling into a little ball, or towards your knees, off the mat. And then slowly place your head back down onto the mat and extend the feet up towards the ceiling, coming into your inversion. So the legs are lifting up towards the sky. Your hands can either be behind the backs of your legs to support them, or you can bring your hands under your tailbone, whichever makes it feel a little more comfortable, because it can be a little intense to just hold this without the hands. It becomes a lot of core work, which is good. But as we start to tone it down, we want to slow things down a little bit. So go ahead and take about 5 breaths in your inversion, letting those feet just release up, letting the rest of the body start to relax a little bit. And then slowly starting to draw the knees back in towards the body. And take a moment now to just do any last minute movements you still need. So if it's one more full body stretch, maybe it's a little twist where you let the knees release to the right and then to the left. Go ahead and take your time to move through any of those last minute poses, or if it's just a sip of water or a sweater or something else that you need, go ahead and do whatever that is so that you can feel really comfortable in your shavasana in a moment. And then when you're ready, you'll begin to settle into that final shape of your practice this evening. So just as you started your practice very intentionally, go ahead and find your last shape very intentionally. That might be the exact same shape. Maybe you start in the exact same position that you ended in. Maybe you're feeling something different. So go ahead and start to journey into that shape now. Maybe it's lying down with your legs long, your arms to the sides of your body. Maybe you're bending your knees. Maybe you're on your side or in a seated position or even in a chair. So wherever you are, let the eyes begin to close if they're not closed already. Let the body start to become heavy as you completely let go, completely surrender. Allow the body to be completely supported. So you're not exerting any effort. You're almost like you're melting into your mat. Picture yourself melting or floating, whichever visual is more appealing to you. And just allow yourself to just exist. Just be here and just breathe for the next few moments before I bring you back out of your shavasana. Slowly beginning to deepen your breath. Just gently beginning to bring yourself back to the room by moving the body gently, starting with your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. If you're lying down and it feels comfortable, you can turn over onto your right side, resting your head on your arm, bending the knees into a fetal position. Take these last few moments here on your mat to just let all of that good stuff you created, all of that peace and calm energy, let it all start to just settle right there inside of you. So imagine you created all this stuff and now it's just landing right there in your heart. Take a moment to kind of collect up that feeling. And then when you're ready, you can slowly start to make your way back up to a seated position, gently pressing your hands into the mat to begin to lift yourself up. Keep your eyes closed or close them once you come to that seat, bringing your hands to heart center. I'm so grateful for you joining me this evening, bringing that light and that energy with you. I hope you have the most beautiful evening, the most beautiful weekend ahead. Until I see you again, namaste.
All right.